What is going on, everybody? What is going on? We are live. We are live. We are mother freaking live. What is going on, everybody? It's Davey from the 80s from Cinema Chop Shop. You know, we are back at it again with the Better Call Saul season finale. I believe this episode was called Saul Gone. And with me is special guest in the building, co-host extraordinaire. Tell him what your name is, sir.
All right, this is Doughboy from Movie Mash, and if you haven't subscribed already, please do. If you haven't joined us already, please join us and sit back and enjoy the show.
Yes, sir. So, yes, and also if you have not subscribed to Cinema Chop Shop, what are you waiting for, huh? All right, so today we are going to finally discuss. We are finally here after years and years and years and years and years of anticipation. We are finally made it to the finale, the finish line of this show.
Yes,
Better Call freaking Saul.
we're
What's
here.
going on, everybody? Go ahead and chime in on the chat if you guys are in the chat today. Go ahead and say something. Say hello, and all that good stuff.
You're talking about doing your English accent again, aren't you?
Not really, but I'm just trying to be nice. Just trying to make sure you guys tune in the chat. Go ahead and chime in. If you got friends that love the show, make sure to sit in the chat and tell them, come on down. The price is right. Click like in the name of the law. What's up, Atheist? My guy, back in the building.
Back in the building.
Click like in the name of the law. I like that. But yes, so we have a lot to unpack, and then I want to end with a nice little discussion where we just talk about which show is better, Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul. But we'll get there. I just want to see how everybody's doing today. We're doing a crowd check today. How y'all feeling? Say something, anything. What are you waiting for? Atheist already chimed in and started it. What's everybody else waiting for? But you guys hit the like button. It helps me.
I'm not going to miss these early mornings. I tell you what, it's 4:00 in the morning here, and I'm.
Yeah. So for you guys that don't know, Derek wakes up super freaking early in order to do these videos. It's 4 a.m. where he's at, 9 p.m. where I'm at, and we find a way to freaking collaborate on these videos. So that man is showing a lot of.
Well, you know why? It's because for the guys who've been turning up regular, and for the whole talk about it in the chat, it's great after watching the show and you want to have a good talk about it and good chat and see what's going on, what everyone else thinks. And as you know, as we've learned, the people in the chat have brought up some good points and stuff that we've missed, So yeah, it's a lot of fun. So yeah, it is worth it in the end, even though I'm not going to, there's not one thing I'm not going to miss.
Waking up early.
Yeah, the coffee is.
He chimed in and said, last review
Yes.
of Paul Saul.
That Missy T.
That's Miss T.
Miss T.
Good evening, Cinema Chop Shop, and good morning, Movie Mash.
Well, hello.
All right, so let's go ahead and just kick the doors down and let's begin. So the episode 13, Saul Gone, opens up with my man Saul Goodman on the run. He's running from the law. Marion pushed a life alert. And they own his ass, right? And he's running and he hears the helicopter and he ducks and hides in the sewer. I mean, this was a very intense scene. And again, they're showing off their cinematography hats because the cinematography in this episode was excellent. Again.
Yeah, it was.
And so Saul Goodman hides, and he hides in the trash can because the cops are everywhere. They have created a perimeter, and they're making sure this man does not get away. He hops in the trash can. He tries to get a burner phone. He's juggling a box of money and a Band-Aid thing with diamonds in it. And then what happens?
What the fuck was he? I mean, I was like, because I really, really need to watch Breaking Bad again because some of it is just kind of gone over my head. Like the diamonds. I don't remember him getting the diamonds or any of that, But as I said, I just want to jump before you carry on with that. I just want to talk about the first scene with Mike, because just when I thought we wouldn't see Mike again, we see Mike again.
Oh yeah, I forgot that it opened up like that. Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, I mean, what did you think of this scene? I wonder, is it refilmed or was it just a scene that they had already done, or is it a scene that they just didn't use and used again. It's sometimes it's like did they already had the show planned out? I don't know. And it goes back to the desert scene, which was one of my favorite episodes of all of them. But they talk about something that I want to bring up later on when we get to when we see what's his name, Heisenberg.
Yeah.
He asks him about the time machine and going back and stuff like that, and it's all down to regret. It's all about regrets, isn't it? This kind of episode, really, they're kind of going on a lot about regret, you know.
Yeah.
So, what did you think of that scene? I think it was Mike seems somewhat nice to him for a change.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Mike was being honest, like
yeah,
he said the first day I took a bribe, and then he asked Saul. See, but this is the thing. The only reason I feel like they did this was to show us that Jimmy McGill, Saul Goodman, whoever he wants to call himself in the moment, he is very good at being a chameleon. He's very good at faking who he really is. Because at heart, like I said, he's a real good person, but he tries to mask all of that. He tries to act like nothing bothers him. He tries to act like a Teflon Don in a way. And I mean, you can kind of see right through him, but he does such a freaking good job at putting up that facade where it's kind of hard to it's hard not to take him serious. I mean, especially when we talk later about his scene in the interrogation room with Hank's wife sitting there,
yeah.
So he puts on this really good front, and it's hard to tell when he's being serious, and it's hard to tell when he's like faking it. But Saul Goodman is just such a fake character, and his response was probably somewhat authentic, but it's because he's pushing down those deep rooted regrets deep down into his system, And at the end of the show, he finally lets it out, but we'll get there when we get there. But it was a nice scene.
But as you were saying, yeah, the where the police caught him and all that, and put him in. I wasn't sure if they were going to catch him, but they caught him. It's like
they had to catch him, but I was surprised that he was caught so quickly.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But it's like the writers of the show again. They're just, I don't know where this at this point. I do not know where this show is going.
It's the pacing. The pacing of this episode felt very quick. It felt like everything was happening lightning fast.
Yeah, it was an hour and 8 minutes or an hour and 10 or something like that. It was
an hour and 11. I want to say hour and 11, but the pacing of the episode was very, very fast. And
what do you think of him calling the guy's name, the other lawyer?
Starts with an O. Isn't it? It's Bob.
Bob guys.
Bob?
Oh God, I've forgotten. This guy.
RS5352 says they never explain the diamonds. All you have to know is that's how Saul converted his money into.
All right, because in my brain it had something to do with Breaking Bad, and it's been a good few years, and I was like, yeah, that I couldn't make the connection there. It had to have something to do with that, but great. So
Oswald? Is his name Oswald?
Hmm? Well, anyway, what did you think? I mean, he called him because look, he's an idiot. Well, I don't think he's an idiot. He just sees him as an idiot, and he
sees him as inferior.
Yeah, but he sees him like this is my way of getting a free lawyer, getting this whatever plan he's got down to get into court and whatever, But yeah, I saw that, and all the police looking at his video. Better Call Saul, and they were looking over at him. I thought it was a good scene. But I want to get to, what's her name? Here we go again. Hank's wife.
I forgot her name, though, but I know exactly
Hank's
what
wife.
you're talking about.
First of all, I think she's a very bad actress. I thought she was terrible. But, she wasn't in it long. But I have to say, I was watching it. And he brought her in because she's got the right to be here, okay, as you know, right? And he goes, he's giving this sob story. They brought me out into the desert and they put a gun to my head and I was scared and all that. And then I was like, I knew and you knew he was giving them a sob story, but I was beginning yeah. And then the guy says, you ain't going to get... And then he looked up and he went, all I need is one. Laughing.
Yeah,
He goes,
it's the truth
all I
though.
need is one. And I thought, oh, my God,
5-3-5-2 answered our question is Bill Oakley. There you
Bill
go.
Oakley. But
Bill
I'm,
Oakley.
I'm not going to lie, that made me laugh out loud. Because I was like, he was being all serious, and I know he was what he was trying to do, and then he looked up and he was like, I'm being a right prick. He goes, but all I need is just one. And you've never lost a case, have you? Be ashamed to lose this one. And he's like putting doubt in this guy. That's I said, Jimmy is very super clever. He could have
Yeah,
been one of the greatest lawyers of all time. I mean,
yeah,
he probably better than Hamlin. He could be even better than his brother because how his brain works. But
yeah.
when I saw him in the bin, the trash can, all of this is down to bad decisions again. All of this led from him going to that house, staying in the house longer, going to this, doing that. All bad decisions. This is
Him
what
going back to
the
Marion's son
yeah
and all of them, like him going back and making them partners
yeah
and hustling with them was a bad decision.
yeah. And,
Sean Franklin says hi, hello Sean, how are you doing today?
all
Welcome,
right,
my
mate.
friend.
How you doing? Welcome to join.
Miss T has a smiley face with a grinny.
That will say when he looked up and he goes, "All I need is one," and I was
It's
like,
the truth though. Atheist says Hank's wife is Marie Schroeder.
oh. "Yeah, I just don't like her. I think she's a bad actress, but you know what? She's
I don't
only
like her face. Her face annoys me. Like when I used to watch her in Breaking Bad, like her facial expressions really used to bother me. I don't know why, but yeah. So he brings her in here and it's funny because like him bringing her in there was really just like a big middle finger to her. Like I got this shit. Like I got this shit under. Like I have you guys under the tip of my thumb. You know,
yeah
and he really played the system like all the way through, and he talked him down to like 7 years, and he's able to go to whichever prison that he wants to go to, and then he was trying to talk him into bringing him a pint of ice cream, and it's like and he's really gambling, and then he finally says one thing where he fucks up. He says, I'll give you information about a lawyer who was said to be committed suicide, but he was actually murdered. And Saul Goodman has
yeah."
no freaking idea that Kim came in and gave her deposition, and also went and gave the deposition to what's his name's wife. Why is it evading me?
Howard's wife.
Howard's wife. And it's like,
Mm-mm.
how did he not know? And I was thinking, like, why didn't his lawyer tell him? I thought his lawyer friend would have told him, like, hey, like Kim was down down there and she made a deal, da 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 da. She went here. I thought he would have at least gave him a heads
No,
up
he
because
must not known. But he
no,
did.
he did. He had to know.
He
He's
had a
there in
plan.
town.
His plan
I don't
was
think he
to
even
reduce
mentioned it in
that
the
7 years.
episode.
I don't know. It never didn't occur to me, but I just assumed he didn't know. I mean, if he did, he's being a dick. But I don't think it was
He
brought up.
knew.
I just assume he didn't know.
He
But
mentions it in the episode
you
that
could
he went.
see Sol had a plan to reduce the 7.5 years down some more. You know what I mean? Or you're down to zero, literally. And you see his whole fucking face was, oh shit, I'm fucked. That was well, just out of interest, what did you think of the whole episode as a whole? Did you like it? Did you hate it? What did you think? Did you
I'm gonna
think
say
it was
that.
good?
I'm gonna save that for the end because that's gonna be a really good discussion point, especially when we
Okay.
put it next to Breaking Bad. But I mean, like I said, I'm gonna be honest. This season was a lot different from the other seasons.
Yeah,
This season, in comparison to the other seasons, seems kind of out of place.
it
And I
does.
mean, and I'm not 100% sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But given what we've gotten in the last couple of seasons, it just feels this season feels different, and I'm
Yeah.
not 100% how I feel about it, like where it lands on the
Um,
radar. But it does feel a lot more cinematic.
it feels like it changed completely from the episode where Howard was killed. Well, when the cleanup after Howard was killed, that was
Yeah,
the end of that part of the journey. I've said it before, and this is just kind of tying up,
wrapping things up.
you know, tying it all up together. But as I say, so we get to this scene. Now, was this fan service, or did you feel like they had a meaning? Because again, this is what I wanted to bring up. They talk about regret. He talks about the time machine again, and it feels like he wants to say something. So I didn't realize how irritating what's his name, Heisenberg is. Like, what a prick! He's just having a conversation. He's walking around talking about science, and you don't know. I'm like, oh, shut up, man. Just have a joke with him, you know. Now, again, this scene here is something to do with Breaking Bad, and it was like I knew I recognized something, but I couldn't quite remember what and when.
I was thinking the same thing. I couldn't place this scene.
Yeah,
Can somebody in the chat please place this scene from Breaking Bad for me? Because for some
yeah,
reason, like it didn't click. I'm like, where
yeah.
in
It
Breaking
looked
Bad was
familiar to me. It did look
it?
familiar.
No, it looks familiar, but I just couldn't place the
Yeah,
scene. I don't know where this scene takes place in Breaking Bad, like at
but
all. Like I don't know.
he brings up the time machine again, and it feels like with Mike, he wanted to say something about his past and what he would change, but he turns around and he says something stupid about falling over and breaking his knee or some shit like that. And I was like, was that it? And I'm like, so if that was it, why you keep bringing this up? Is it that he wants to say something, or it's just being a chameleon, or what the hell was it about? I don't know. What do you think?
Like I said, I really think it's because he's still putting up a front. He's not ready. Look, we don't see. You have to understand that this dude has split personalities. Basically, there's Jimmy McGill, there's Saul Goodman, and then there's freaking Gene, right? And he has not. We haven't seen Jimmy McGill in a long time. Right now, we're talking to Saul Goodman. Saul Goodman's a hustler. He's about his money, and he's not trying to let people in. He keeps people at an arm's distance because he feels like if he lets you in, somebody that he loves is going to get hurt. So he just tries to keep his personal life away from everybody. At least that's the way I'm thinking. I could be wrong, but
Yeah, part of me still feels like what he wants is that he wants to say something, but he just doesn't. Like, because he keeps bringing it up, and why would you say
yeah,
such a?
of course, he wants to say something, but he just that's because that's Jimmy in there. Jimmy in there wants to ask that question, but Saul Goodman is the one that responds. At least that's the way I'm looking at it. But
Um,
you asked a question and said, "Does this scene feel like fan service?" And I'm going to say yes and no. Yes, because it does feel kind of random that Walter White ends up in here, and especially because low key, I kind of thought that we were gonna see another high school scene, like actually him talking with Walter White in the high school, like kind of carrying on from the previous episodes, but we never picked up from that. Um, and it feels kind of like out of place. But I think that we needed a character like Heisenberg to deliver the harsh truth. And it's weird because it really feels like Mike could have delivered that truth because Mike's that type of character too. Mike's a hard-nosed asshole that gets straight to the point. So I kind of felt like Mike would have been perfect to deliver the truth too. But again, watching Walter White's character come in and say, you know what? Like, what are we talking about? Time machines here? Like, time machines here are fake. They don't freaking exist. Let's stick to reality. It's something that you've done, you have regrets. If we're talking about regrets, just say that's what you're talking about and stop trying to do this whole charade, right?
yeah,
But
yeah,
hold on,
yeah.
let's go look at some comments before we carry on real quick. All right. The scene with Walt and Saul in the basement is when they were waiting to be sent out. Oh, oh yeah, for their secret lives. Oh yeah, okay, that's what it was.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. I
That
do.
makes sense. All right, thank you, RS5352. Thank you.
Nice
I was
one,
like,
man.
I know this scene is
See what
freaking.
I'm talking about with you guys. You're helping out. You're part of this show for real.
Miss T says, don't forget he's also Victor. Oh yeah, he is. This man has so many freaking personalities. It's crazy. But thank you, Mrs. T. Um, again, so I think that it does feel a little fan servicey, but Walter White needed to deliver that message to Saul Goodman because how else was he gonna? Who else is he gonna hear it from? I think that Saul. I think Walter was the perfect person to tell him that.
Yeah.
But then later on we find out where kind of like maybe where he got the idea from the time machine from, you know? And we'll talk about that when we get there, towards the end.
What about this?
Oh, where he kept bothering his lawyer?
Yeah, this
That
is
was
where we
hilarious.
find out um what do you call it? What Kim has done and what's happening with her. You know, being sued and that kind of he keeps saying you might want to write this down. It might be something valuable and all that. He's just being the
He's such
comedian. But
he knows the game so well. He knows how to mold people and manipulate people and get them to do exactly what he wants them to do. And that's Jimmy's character is a great character. Like I never in a million years thought that they were going to be able to take that lawyer from Breaking Bad and make such a damn good show. I never in a million years would have thought that. Like when you told me like, oh, they made a show about the lawyer from Breaking Bad, I was like, I don't want to watch no damn show about the lawyer from Breaking Bad.
do a spin-off that rivals the main show, which is Breaking Bad. Yeah, to do a spin-off that rivals a show that good, that big, that's an accomplishment. Just out of interest, what's the guy who wrote this? Is Vince Gillian? Is it Vince Gillian? Yeah, I think it's Vince Gillian.
Yeah.
Um, I've been watching the X Files recently, revisiting them after 20 odd years, just to see, and they still hold up and they're ahead of their time. Turns out he's writing them. He was doing this shit back then, So this
Okay.
guy, he's
He has a hell of a resume.
yeah.
Uh, Faithiest Atheist chimed in and says the show's creator, Peter Gold, just gave an interview that explains the 3 flashback scenes on AMC Talk. Check it out on the AMC website if you want. Oh, that sounds like a good
I
idea.
think I will do that afterwards. Yeah, thanks,
But
mate.
look, I really think that the 3 flashbacks are nothing more than kind of just leading up to him evolving finally, becoming
Yeah,
the person that everybody kind of knew he always could be. Like he could be an honest person because nobody believed that he can ever be an honest person, and for him to finally just do it at the end, I think that was like the ultimate character arc for his character. And I
well,
mean, I couldn't see
yeah,
it. I couldn't see that going anywhere else.
but um, there's this scene here I want to go into. Is I think this is also kind of like giving us a conclusion for Kim because Kim liked to help people. Do you know what I mean? She
Yeah,
liked she did. She used to do the what was that? Oh, what
the
was
pro
that?
bono.
That's the one. Yeah, she used to do that, and I think they just gave us this scene just to show that because she's a really good lawyer and she has loads of experience and she knows inside and out. And to be like legal aid, helping people out, I think this was just to give us like, look, she's kind of gone back to that. I mean, they didn't need to show us. I just think that it was just to show the audience, look, she's still good and she's trying. She's kind of satisfied with helping people again. So that
It's
was,
because law is her passion. Like
yeah.
law is her passion, and she likes to help people that are experiencing hardships in law related situations. So I kind of knew that she would find her way back to law. I didn't really kind of know like in what way. Like I didn't know how she was going to do it. But this definitely seems like a nice little character arc for her. Uh, Going back into law, even though it's not full fledged, it's minuscule and it's trying to help people because this lady right here does pro bono work too. She doesn't charge people anything to see their case or to work on their case. And when she was talking to the lady, she's talking about, well, if this person comes, lock the door, call me, I'll come and pick you up whenever. Just call me whenever you need me. She is exactly what Kim wished she would have been or wish she would have grown into. In all honesty, this woman is basically Kim in another timeline.
But she was a good character. I've liked it from the start. I never found her irritating. I thought she was, you know what, the chemistry with her and Soul were really good.
Oh yeah,
Bob,
definitely.
it was really good. Um, Now the court, so they go to court, and you you see him dressed up like this, and you're like, for fuck's sake, of course. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
when
mean,
he dressed up like that and he did this, I was like, fuck. Like, I was like, damn, dude, this dude really about to make this shit happen. But then when you really think about it, he only didn't he used to do the Showtime when he was Jimmy McGill?
Yeah,
When he was practicing law as like an honest man, that's
yeah.
when he was with the whole Showtime gimmick. So I felt like maybe that should have signaled to me as a viewer, like he's about to tell the truth. Even though I knew there was a large possibility that he was going to do whatever he needed to do in order to clear Kim's name and then take the
I
whole thing.
That's what was that was in the back of my mind. His plan when you see him on the aeroplane and he's come up with something, I felt like he was going to try and save her somehow. Now I don't think he saved her. I don't think he did anything to save her as such. But I will say that
No, he did. He took full responsibility and said he only said that about Kim to get her to the court. So
all
under
right,
oath, under
all right,
oath, they're going to take his word for it.
all right. I didn't. I must. Right. I thought that she'd still get in whatever trouble that Howard's wife was going to try, because the guy said he's going to sue her for what she has and what she'll always have, or whatever she'll make in the future. And I was like,
Yeah,
damn.
but see, once Jimmy, look, here's the thing though. She could write whatever deposition she has, right? And then she could get sued in civil court, whatever, right? But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, if the court case says that Saul Goodman has been tried and charged with these charges, and she has not been charged with it, that case is closed, dude. I don't
All right.
think they can
That'll
charge. I
work.
don't think they can charge her for it.
All right. Because I thought because it's a civil, it might be a civil suit. It might be against her without anything else, but I don't know how it works.
Maybe. I mean, there it might be like for damages or whatever the case may
Yeah,
be.
that's
I
what I
mean,
thought.
it's possible.
'Cause she's suing her directly. But look, I'm not an expert. If any of you guys out there know, let us know. Um, but I was going
The
to say,
Supreme Waffle says, "Hello, what's up, Supreme Waffle?
hello.
You're a
How
new
you
face
doing?
in here today. How are you
Um,
doing, sir? Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Unless it's somebody else they changed their name again. Who are you,
um,
Supreme Waffle? Reveal yourself.
Super Waffle, is it?
No, the Supreme Waffle.
Supreme Waffle. How you doing,
That
sir?
sounds like a bomb ass waffle restaurant. That sounds like a good waffle restaurant.
I'd
I
go
want some
there.
waffles now. Thanks a lot, man.
Um, right. So I want to say about the cinematography, and a lot of people don't realize how important certain things and how cinematography can be. And the scene where I swear to God, right, I felt it, and I don't normally kind of get that kind of heartfelt moments normally because I'm like some people just burst out crying. But the scene when he sat down and he looked over at Kim after just giving it all up and kind of redeeming himself for himself and in her eyes, I liked it. Do you know the bit I'm talking about where
You talking
he,
about the end where he starts off like with the whole spiel that he's giving in the courtroom, the same thing that he gave Marie and everybody else, and then he just kind of cuts it right where Walter and then throw him in the desert, and he just says, "I knew what I was doing. I knew
no,
what I was getting myself into."
I'm talking about the scene where in court and he sat down and after he said his big speech and all that, he sat down and he looked over at Kim behind himself, and it was like the first time you actually really got to see who Jimmy was, the actual person, the
I
real.
think it meant a lot when he said when they were like Saul, and he was like, "My name is Jimmy. My name is Jimmy McGill."
And like the cinema, the way the camera panned in on him, and then the way it panned in on her when she looked back at him, like she was kind of like proud of him, and it was kind of you've proper redeemed yourself. And let's face it, I don't know if I want to get into that just yet, but what he done was give away his life pretty much,
For her,
and not just for her. I think as a redemption as well. But she had a lot to do with it.
we
And
were really in order to dissect it, you would really have to go back to the conversation that they had on the payphone.
yeah,
Because remember when they were talking, when she was like, "You should just turn yourself in, and you should just, you should turn yourself in, and you should do the right thing." And he's like, "Well, what the fuck? What about you? Like, you making it seem like your hands are clean too." And then she attempted to make clean her hands, and that's why she gave the deposition or whatever. And then that's when he said, "You know what? I'm going to do the same," but I think his motivation was a little bit more. I think his motivation was more so to clear Kim's name. At
I
least
do
that's what
too. But I think that it kind of there's a redemption that he was longing for as well in some ways, because he was getting out of control towards the end, especially with what he was doing. And I
Yeah, it
think
was spiraling.
yeah, and you see, I didn't want to see Soul die, but to see him get off scot free would have been just stupid and unrealistic in a sense. Do you know what I mean? Just off
Yeah,
into the
7 years sounded like something that he could talk himself into.
way they brought those two back and gave them that kind of nice little relationship between each other. Even though he's going to prison for a very long time, I felt like you gave us our rushing off into the sunset version of what you could do with a reality kind of way of doing it, because they kind of didn't run off into the sunset, but there was that kind of nice moment we'll get to in a minute. I don't want to go into it just yet, but
Let's go ahead and get some ones in. Miss T said this is in response to me saying that waffles sound good. She said it does sound bomb. Mr. Waffle came back with the what are your thoughts on the bus scene when everybody was chanting Better Call Saul?
I have a version. I wanted to get to that in a second, right?
We're going to get to that in just 1 second.
Yeah, something I have to say about that. But before that, I just want to say there's a scene just before this, which was this. What did you think of this?
Hold on, let me just run through a couple of more questions. Finally got to watch Black Phone tomorrow. Going to watch Black Phone tomorrow. What's up, Renamon? Crazy. This man would come on here and talk about the Black Phone. Let me know what when you watch it. Go to my Black Phone review and then write me a message, and we'll have a chat about it. Let's see.
Black Phone, by the way.
5352. Howard's wife might still keep pursuing civil suit, but Kim looks like she's back in character. She can handle it. That's true. Kim is more than capable of handling it, especially if she gets her foot back into the law game. Then we also got let's see, who's this? Atheist. Good call. Saul gives his life to Kim. That's why they played the gospel music. Let's see. And then we have caught up with all of our chats. Hopefully Waffle didn't leave before we answered this damn question.
I was gonna say was Chuck.
Go back to the Chuck scene.
I just don't. If there was a meaning in this scene, it went over my head.
It was just to show you the damn book. Did you see the name of the book?
No.
The book was called The Time Machine.
Oh, right. Yeah, I missed it.
I feel like that whole scene was just like to show. I felt like it was set up, and I know it had meaningful dialogue, but I really feel like the whole scene was set up just to show you the book. The Time Machine book.
Well, now, who asked a minute ago?
Wait, before we get to it, though, the fact that freaking Jimmy spilled his guts about how he really felt about Chuck at the end, after the whole season, he's acting like he didn't give a fuck. I mean, from day one, when Chuck killed himself, he acted like he didn't give a fuck. It was more like good riddance. So for him to finally acknowledge that he had a part in Chuck killing himself, that was big.
He literally opened up. He spilt his guts about every bad thing he done, apart from stealing money from his dad's shop when he was a kid. That he literally said everything. You know, I mean, that's the way the show went, where it's like he's kind of putting his hands up and look, this is me. I'm telling you the truth. Give me whatever I deserve. Do you know what I mean? He didn't leave nothing out, and even though he probably wouldn't get in trouble for what he'd done with Chuck, he still wanted everyone to know the piece of shit he was towards his brother, and that kind of gives him some kind of, not redemption, but kind of takes it off his shoulders a little bit. Look, I was a prick, and whatever I deserve, I deserve. But the bus scene, what did you think about the bus scene? Because I have an opinion on something. But
let me chime in on one more thing. Before we get to the bus scene, I really feel like when he was in the courtroom and he was spilling his guts, I really feel like the only person that he wanted to witness this was Kim. I don't think he gave a fuck about nobody else hearing anything that he had to say.
Yeah.
The only person he really wanted to witness that was Kim, because everybody feels like he was a piece of shit, and they felt like he would never change. And I think that Kim was also in her head thinking like, he's a piece of shit, he's never going to change. And he figured that this was the only time and only place where he was going to be able to show her that he can actually change. And I think that's what made that scene even more powerful.
Also, remember, he knows the law. And by doing this, he gave his life. Literally, this is
for her.
he didn't just say all right and get a slap on the wrist. By doing this, he's giving his life for her. And again, when it pans back to that scene, he knew this was it. You know, he looked over, and then it was just that the way, as I said, the way the camera panned in on him, and it panned in on her, and the way it was shot, I felt it, and it was. I agree with you 100% there.
And check this out. RS5352 says in the Chuck scene, Chuck tells Saul he can change his life by changing his decisions. And Saul finally takes that advice many years later in the finale.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. You know, this is probably one. Yeah, for some reason, the whole scene seemed to go over my head.
Has anybody read that Time Machine book, by the way? Like, is that a legit book or was that something that was. I feel like it's a legit book that actually
Film,
exists. But
and
has
it's
anybody
by
read that book?
H.G. Wells or some shit like that.
Yeah, I think so. If
Yeah.
anybody read that book, is there any sort of significance in that book to anything that Jimmy was talking about?
Well, I've
Is
seen
there any
it,
significant tie-in to the show?
and I don't see it as such, but maybe there is. You know, the show is
You
like,
read the book?
no, I've seen the film. I've seen the film and the remake. But as I say, like, I can't think. But you know, the way the show works, it probably has some significance somewhere in something. So if anyone has noticed it, please let us know. But
Bus scene, sorry, go ahead.
busing, yeah, right. What did you think of what was going on?
I really think it's kind of funny because he was trying to get away from this whole Saul Goodman thing, and everybody freaking loved him for it. Like he became like the saint of prisoners or something. It
Yeah,
was crazy. But honestly, I really think that in prison he wouldn't have survived. He's going because remember that dialogue that he had. He wanted to go to a specific prison because he was like, "Oh, I went and visited a client in this prison, and it was like the worst prison over here," you know? And then that's exactly the prison that he's going to, the
yeah,
prison that he was trying to avoid. So it's like they threw him in the worst of the
yeah,
worst prisons. So I think that in order to survive in that prison, he had to upkeep the Saul Goodman persona, or else like he wouldn't be respected. Because again, think about it. Think back to when he was selling cell phones and shit. Nobody respected him as a fucking clean cut Jimmy McGill try to sell you a cell phone. It wasn't until he turned into Saul Goodman and when he was able to gain the people's trust because they saw him as an equal. If he didn't like adapt that persona, they would not see him as an equal, and he would have got eaten alive. That's what I think.
well, yeah. First of all, I thought there was going to be a prison break for a moment. I thought, are they planning something here? But when they all started singing and chiming, for me, that was the writer's way of showing us that he's going to be okay. He's not
Yeah,
going to get bummed in the shower. He's not going to be shanked. I feel like he's going to be a minor celebrity, and everyone's singing his song. I think it was the show's way of showing us that yeah, he's going to be all right. He's going to do okay. He's going to be left alone and be a bit of a celebrity and be okay. But he has to be his soul to do it. But still, I
yeah.
think it was just we know he's not built like Mick or anything like that. Where if any shit goes down, he ain't going to handle it. And going to a prison like that, not good. But again, the show is saying, look, everyone, he's going to be all right.
I
Do you
mean,
know
shit.
what I
He
mean?
made friends. He was making bread, and the dude next to him was like, "I got you, Saul." You know, and he
Yeah,
knuckle bumped him.
yeah.
So
I know.
like,
I was like, yeah, you
everybody seemed
do.
to respect him.
Yeah. And then we get that fight. Kim comes to see him as that.
And they share a cigarette, just like the way that we were introduced to
Yeah.
the same.
And
The way
it's
that we're introduced to these characters is the same way that we are
saying goodbye.
saying goodbye.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And to me, it was it was a nice kind of, and you see the light, the light, it was a color,
Yeah.
but
Some of the people, a lot of people don't like the black and white, but it doesn't bother me.
it didn't bother me too. And I think it was just kind of giving us,
It's cinematic, man. You have to
yeah,
think about it. Like
time,
when you
so
really think about it, these are the dark times in his life.
yeah,
So it's only right that we go black and white because it's kind of like a metaphor about like what he's going through. You know, these are
yeah,
dark times. Now If it would have just randomly went into like light at the end, then I probably would have been like, eh. But it stayed all the way through, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, and then him classically snatching a cigarette away from her and smoking it.
Yeah,
Like I said, the way that we're introduced to the characters is the same way we're saying goodbye. And she knows she's not gonna wait for this fool for no 80 damn years, 86 years, even with like good behavior. Like he's not gonna get out anytime
that
soon.
was it because we didn't know how long he got, and she goes, "You got him down to 7.5 years," and he's like, "Yep," and it just shows how good of a lawyer he was. He goes, "Yep," but then she goes, and then he goes like 87 years, and I'm like, "Damn, they really."
I wouldn't even say that shows how good a lawyer he is. Well, yeah, he has to know the law remotely in order to understand how to manipulate it, but I think most of it is just like he has a fucking mouthpiece, man. Like that dude can talk. He could talk
Yeah,
his way into a situation, out of a situation. He could talk circles around people, and even freaking Tuco saw that shit. You know,
yeah,
like, and that's not like everybody says. Like talking Tuco down is not an easy task, and he was able to do it, which
yeah.
basically shows you like the
And just
capabilities that he
the
has.
guy Tuco, even his own people couldn't talk him down. Do you know what I mean? Nobody can talk Tuco down, and he could.
Yeah,
But then he has that joke like something about maybe on good behavior or something. You know what I mean?
yeah. He's like, yeah, there's a possibility of parole with good behavior,
And
and
like
motherfuckers
as I
laugh it off.
say, we're coming to the last, pretty much the last. That is the last scene now, and we have that moment when Kim is leaving. She has that kind of sad kind of a feel, but there's a kind of a
I am
niceness.
not digging her hair. Like I hate this wig that she's wearing.
Yeah, I know, but I think it's something to do with her hiding in the era where she is. Everything's
I
changed.
know, but still, she looks like a fake ass old Mary Jane Watson. But that's just me though.
But then we get the final shot, and again, the cinematography here was banging. Do you know what I mean? And he does that bang bang sort of thing,
Yeah.
and it's all over. And for me, I just felt like it ended where he got his redemption in a sense. He mended everything for Kim, mended his relationship with Kim, and gave his life to do it.
He
And he's
made
going to
things
be all
right with
right.
the last person that he loved.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
other
I
two
mean,
people left in the world that he truly cared about, and she was one of them. And he was able to mend that with her before, possibly, losing that opportunity forever. You know?
well, as I say, the camera shot was great, and that was it. Really, that's where it ended.
The cinematography, like I said, like you talked about, the cinematography in this episode was freaking excellent.
And it's important because it helps add towards the emotions of a scene. If you
Oh
know
yeah,
the way
definitely.
the camera panned in on him, and I haven't got it here, but the shot where she's leaving and it shows him and it shows them at either
Yeah,
side.
with the two
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the two different parts of the
Just little things like we're friends, we love each other, but this is it, and
and just hearing that basketball clink off that rim.
look, he could be another room he's getting cleaned. You know what I mean? He could be cleaning another room somewhere else, but he's doing all right.
Let's
So
check in and see how people are feeling. Hold on, real quick. Let me just. The Time Machine is a legit classic literature. Yes, I've read it. And then he also chimes in again, and he says that the book is all about trying to go back and make wrong things right, and that sometimes you can't do that, but you can try. That's been the theme of this show,
okay,
trying to right their wrongs. Yeah, I mean, legitly, that's Jimmy's character, and then you only see Jimmy do this for the people that he loves. He will throw his life in the garbage can. Like, remember when he basically got like when he got his like bar exam like revoked or whatever the case may be. Like that was for somebody, if I'm not mistaken. Like, all of the bad things that have happened to him is mostly because he's doing something for other people to benefit somebody that he truly cares about. He seems like a really selfish person, but he's really not.
no, because even running around the way he ran around for Chuck, like he knew Chuck had this electrical that wasn't really a problem, but he was just still playing along with it because doing it for Chuck, running in and out, leaving his phone in the letterbox at the front, putting on all this, just going on with the charade with what Chuck was doing. And even Chuck, it said here, I can get someone else to do this. He said, no, you're my brother. Of course I'm going to do it. You do it for me. And you
And that
think,
was funny when Chuck looked at him like, I really
yeah,
wouldn't do it for you.
Yeah. Just out of interest, do you think Chuck really knew, or do you think Chuck was just an ass?
What do you mean? He really
Like,
knew?
remember, he was like, all right, so he didn't want Sol to be a lawyer. And a lot of reasons why Sol should have been a lawyer because of how his brain works. The same
Yeah.
reason why he shouldn't be a lawyer is because of how his brain works. But Chuck, I often wonder, do you think Chuck legitimately kind of like he's going to fuck everyone up, or do you think it was just a jealousy kind of a hatred kind of a thing, or a dismissive thing? Because sometimes can't quite tell. Even though he's right, sometimes I'm wondering like he didn't really even give him a chance, but he knew him better than anyone as he grew up with him. You know, so I'm wondering, was he being an asshole, or was he legitimately he really believed that he was gonna fuck everyone up?
I look. Here's the thing. He knows how Jimmy is. And I think legitly he really was like concerned that he was going to cut corners or he was going to do this or he's not going to go about it because Chuck looked at the law as something righteous, as something that cannot be manipulated, bended, or changed under any circumstances. And Jimmy's the type of person that says, well, shit, I'll bend it if it gets me the W. You know, Jimmy's all about winning. Jimmy's all about the self-recognition. Jimmy's all about that. And Chuck's like, nah, dude, like you get the self-recognition or whatever, but at the same thing, the law is something precious and it shouldn't be tampered with. And Jimmy didn't have that same respect for the law that Chuck did. And I think that Chuck felt like that was a danger to something that he cared a
Well,
lot about, which was the law.
Chuck, what nobody else sees, but Chuck, there was a scene where remember he came into jail to bail him out, and he had done this quite a few times because of his antics, robbing people and doing all kinds of shit over the years, including stealing from the dad when they were a kid and all that. So he saw stuff that other people didn't see growing up, and how many times he's had to bail him out. And
Yeah.
to have this guy as a lawyer could have. It's like someone who's an arsonist, people who's setting people's houses on fire everywhere, and then goes to prison, comes out, and wants to be a fireman. You're like, no, you probably
Yeah,
start
exactly.
saying, no, 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 I don't know.
Yeah, he's
So,
been
yeah,
watching Jimmy hustle
I
a lot.
like to think it was that reason. I do think it is, but I would like to think it was that reason. I'd hate to think
I
that
mean,
Chuck was.
yeah, he's watching Jimmy hustle the law his whole life, and it's not. You can tell like this is not somebody that's going to treat the law with respect, you know. But let me ask you a question. And chat, this is the time where you guys can start chiming in with the questions, and we'll start to pull the questions from the chat and answer them. But let me ask the chat the question too, and I'm gonna ask you the question. Now that we've reached the conclusion of this TV show, a lot of people have been saying that Better Call Saul before it even ended was better than Breaking Bad. And now that the show's ended, we can finally put this idea to rest in a way. You know, what
Yeah.
do you think? Do you
Right.
feel like Breaking Bad is still the top? Is still at the top of the pyramid? Is it the better show than Better Call Saul,
Right.
or has Call Saul dethroned it? Or do you feel like for some reason they're neck and neck? I don't think they neck and neck though, but I'll tell you that much. Go ahead.
All right. So I haven't watched Soul in sorry Breaking Bad in a couple of years, maybe about 3 years. Now I have repeated. I've watched it twice, the whole show, but it's been a while, so there was a few things I can't remember. So it's hard for me to. I'd have to watch them. I'd have to watch it again to really compare it. But what I do remember, I do think Breaking Bad was a touch better than just a touch better than this in a sense. But there's the only thing, as I said about the ending, I feel like the redemption on both of them. I can't. You know what? It's about equal because the redemption on this for Soul was just perfect. Because
No, you can't do equal. You are you just saying the redemption alone?
the redemption, you see, because
Oh,
you have what's his name, Heisenberg had a redemption in a sense, helping Jesse out in the last
yeah,
episode, and he gave his life doing it. He redeemed after. I mean, you couldn't fix all the wrongs that he did, but he could fix that one last thing, and he gave his life. Same as this, he couldn't fix the things that he's done, But the one thing he could fix is with the one person that's always been by his side was Kim, and he gave his life for it. So with the redemption part, it's kind of both giving their lives, and I can't compare. And because I would say in a whole, Breaking Bad may have been a better show, slightly, only slightly. The only thing I liked more about this show was that every character on the show, including Kim and Chuck, I loved. There was some moments in Breaking Bad that I didn't like, and I know I'm going to get killed for this, but with Jesse, I felt like we spent a lot of time with Jesse moping a lot. He was always kind of moping about something that's happened, and he could go on for episodes upon episodes upon
You have to
episodes.
really think about it though. Like, how else is somebody in Jesse's situation going to get over whatever they're
No,
dealing
I
with?
know,
He
I know.
have
For me,
somebody
just
to kind of guide them through it. He has a bunch of drug addict friends.
yeah, no. There was like so many. These are nitpicks. Also, I just didn't give a shit about Skylar or the. No, I did to a point, but not as much as we saw. And I felt like "Ugh, I just want to get on with Mike.
Yeah, I
And
mean, I understand those. These are viable nitpicks, but at the
with
same time,
Soul, there wasn't one. Every time it jumped to another person's story arc, like what Mick was doing. Mick, keep saying Mick. Mike, what Mike was doing, or whatever Kim was doing, or whatever Howard was doing, whatever Gus was doing. I was interested. I'd literally watch the whole episode on it. Do you know what I mean? And then it would jump. Oh yes, so that's what he's doing, and it was just in that sense for me. That's where Soul's strengths were with me because everyone on this was such a great character that we're talking about spin-offs on each. Like nobody's interested in a spin-off on Skylar. Do you know what I mean? And
I personally agree with a lot of stuff that you said, but here's where I'm going to go with it. I think Better Call Saul was on pace to becoming the better show. And if this shit would have ended like strong, it would have fucking beat Breaking Bad by a long shot. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I really feel like the last 5 or so episodes derailed that momentum.
yeah,
And I feel like I know that these episodes had to be done, but they didn't have to be done in the manner that they were done in. Now, if you needed a couple extra episodes, maybe could have called to talk to the cast, but I feel like the ending is everything because, like you just said, the characters in Better Call Saul are freaking amazing. I cared about every single character in that show. Everybody's character just felt real. Like I had a connection with everybody, and that's why I felt like the pacing was on point to being the superior show. Now, I get your nitpicks about Skylar, her son, Marie, and all these shit, but this is Walter's bubble, and we're going to have to experience those things because whatever Walter does, it affects whatever's happening in his bubble. To ignore that, it's just like kind of
no,
like
you couldn't change it. You need.
no,
I agree with you completely.
yeah. Like you can't change that stuff. Like, of course, like you don't want to see it, but at the same time, these are things that
Yeah, it's part of his story arc and making who Walter was, who he was, what made it,
yeah.
why he was. I get it. No, I do completely.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have to give it. I really think that, like considering the way that Breaking Bad ended, I feel like Breaking Bad ended a lot stronger than this show, and I feel like Breaking Bad is still the better show but not by much. But not by much. Like it's not like a freaking clear winner. It's very neck and neck. But I feel like Breaking Bad's ending was just a little bit more satisfying than Better Call Saul's. And I get it. Like the character arc, I understand the character arc ending of Better Call Saul is very heartfelt and very warming. But I really felt like at times these last couple of episodes felt rushed.
I felt the last episode was.
It felt rushed. It felt like they were just trying to give us the answers so that they can just end the show cleanly without everybody saying, well, what the hell happened to this? And again, like kudos to the writers. They did an amazing job. They made a freaking excellent show. You created excellent characters that people will possibly want to see more spinoffs about. But I just got to give it to Breaking Bad at this point.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if I could give because I felt like this ended strong. I did. I felt it went out strong. I mean, for me, they wrapped it all up perfectly and as realistically as they could. and they still gave us that kind of going off in the sunset feel for both Kim and because I couldn't see of a satisfying way in reality to give them two an actual nice little ending. You know, without running off into the sun, because that would have been stupid. And I couldn't see a way, but they found a way around it, and they gave us that sunset, running off into the sunset feel without doing it, and he's given his life for it. And I felt it ended strong. As I said, it's been years since I've seen Breaking Bad, so
I
I
just recently watched Breaking Bad, so that's why it's
I
kind of
have to
fresh in my
rewatch the ending.
head.
So I mean, getting all them people shot. He had the car with the gun,
Yeah.
you know, and him dying. I get it. So it's been a few years, so I can't. It's hard for me to say, but I did like. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but I do think Breaking Bad as a whole was a better show, just a little bit. It was more shocking.
And it sucks because, like I said, Better Call Saul, the pacing of the show was just on par to just blow that
Yeah,
shit out of the water.
there was never a bore apart from the last one episode. From the last one, I felt
The last
no
couple of
episode was
episodes,
dragging. I thought
the
the
last
last
couple
episode
of
was dragging.
episodes weren't what we're used to. And
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not saying it's a bad episode. I'm not saying it's a terrible episode. It's just not what we're used to, and I feel like they kind of turned the volume down a little bit. But let's hear something from the chat because we love to hear from you guys.
I was gonna
RS5357 says Chuck loved and hated Jimmy. He didn't want Jimmy ruined, but he certainly didn't want Jimmy as an equal. He wanted Jimmy to know his place. Damn, that's
Well,
true.
I do feel like yeah, he loved him and hated him at the same time. Do you know what I mean? Don't want to see him get hurt, but doesn't really want him in the same position as he is, especially for how hard Chuck felt he worked. You have to remember, Jimmy did work kind of hard to get where he was too. Like he
Yeah, he
worked in
was
the
a man.
mailroom. You know, I say Chuck did a lot of work, but working in a mailroom and he got his law degree in Mexico or some shit like that. You
No,
know,
something the Samoas.
Miss
Miss T said Better Call Saul is the superior show. Faithiest Atheist chimed in and says that in Better Call Saul, the actor staff and showrunners all get much better at their trade crafts. So even though Breaking Bad was more action packed, I say Better Call Saul is way superior. And then let's see, I think I got one more. I know I don't have one more. I thought I had one more. All right. Anybody else want to chime in? What show do you think is the superior show? What show did you guys like more? Or if you guys just have questions or comments or anything that you want to say to us, just throw it in the chat. We'll respond to it we
I
as
want
we
to
go.
ask you guys as well. Did you all find it a satisfying ending?
I see Breaking Bad, El Camino. Wait, I see Breaking Bad, El Camino, and Breaking Bad as one series. I say watch it all in order. All's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
El
It,
Camino to me wasn't all that good. I felt like
El
I feel
Camino
like
was a bit.
they tried to give Jesse like a redemption arc or like a story. I don't know. It just didn't satisfy me.
It wasn't terrible. It was just a bit flat. You
It
know.
wasn't. It wasn't good because we're looking at Breaking Bad and we're now looking at Better Call Saul and we're seeing what they're capable of. And
But
just when you're looking at El Camino like as alone, you're like, damn, like it's a good product, but it's a far less superior product. It's like when the Nazis were making the blue meth, like it's a way less superior product.
yeah. It was like after what we've been through, you guys ain't nothing. What I was gonna say is to the guys, everyone in the chat and everyone watching. Is there anything that you didn't find satisfying? Did you find this last episode satisfying? Were you happy with it, or were you just a bit disappointed at how it ended? I mean, let us know. Put it in the comments. Let us know what you think, because I thought it was a great ending. I thought I was very
I,
satisfied
I
with it.
think it was a look. I think it was the logical ending.
Yeah,
It's the only logical ending that we could have had. Like
yeah.
I knew that
But
I knew he
I
was
like
going to
the
get
way they give
captured.
it him.
I knew he was going to get captured. I knew that there was going to be some trick up his sleeve to try to get off, and I knew he would probably end up sacrificing it all for Kim. These are
That's
things that we know.
I did. I thought that I was hoping that, but I did like the way that they gave Kim and him that little kind of nice relationship kind of between them in the end. I felt it worked. Everything worked. I feel like the last episode dragged a little bit. but I feel now it kind of does help. It makes sense for this episode for it to be the way it was. We had to see all that, you know. I mean, I just didn't know. I think the writers. I can't wait. I really do hope that they do another Chuck or Lalo or
They are planning on doing.
shit. I'll even watch it.
From what I heard, if the right script comes across their table, they are open to doing another
Yeah.
series. But the script has to come across the table. But I am definitely rooting for a Lalo show. I am definitely rooting for maybe even a Nacho show if possible. I mean, I don't know how much trouble Nacho could get into, but I think a Nacho show would be pretty damn interesting. A Lalo show is good. Gus show might be cool, but you're gonna have to do me a young Gus in Chile.
Same as Mike.
You have to give me a young Gus in Chile. A Mike show would be dope. Maybe a dope thing about Mike would maybe be like him like drunkenly stumbling through like the streets of where I think he's from New York, right? Well, drunkenly stumbling through the streets, and then like the episodes are just him remembering all the fucked up shit he's done, and then that
Or
way it's like a flashback of like all the bribes he took and all the bad shit he took.
didn't he say 1984 or 1981 when he
Yeah,
first
because
took
he said
the
that's
first
when he took
ride?
his first bribe.
You know,
But
he
that's what I'm
jumped.
saying. Like, can you? Because remember when he used to get drunk, and they talked about it, especially when his son died. He used to get fucking hammered, and he
Yeah.
said that he stopped drinking as much or whatever. Now, it would be dope to see an old Mike again getting drunk, maybe stumbling into a bar, and then stumbling out or whatever, and passing out at home. And then when he passes out, he dreams of the past and all maybe something of the something fucked up that he did. And then those could be our episodes, you know,
Yeah.
like him kind of like passing out and remembering all the fucked up shit he did. I think that'll be cool.
We'd need two actors, but I'd still like to see Mike in it.
No,
If you
that's
get
what I'm saying. That way we keep Mike, and then we also have a young Mike, so that old Mike can like kind of just like
leading up to him working in the booth, sort of
yeah,
thing.
exactly like that.
Um, Again, I'd even watch a Kim show because the writers on this are so good.
But what the fuck would a Kim show encompass? Like what her coming up,
The writers are so good.
earrings and shit.
I think she was well. It did show that she had a bit of a dodgy growing up with her mum and all
Like,
that.
it's not. I can't look. I love Kim's character, but she cannot hold it on her own. I don't see it.
Oh no, no.
RS5352 says I love them all. He says I love them all with no complaints.
Good. I agree. I'm with you there. I have no complaints with how the whole show even ended. Run nothing. Great ending. I will watch this show again at some point in the future. Maybe more.
I'm trying to see. I want to see the next Breaking Bad spinoff because right now, like,
It's gonna be a while.
they're 2 for 3 in my opinion. Like, even though, like I said, El Camino was okay, but these two shows are fucking excellent. Like,
I wonder if we get another El Camino for this show.
you mean like a movie?
Yeah, I mean, what would we do? Show Kim kind of redemption, doing
What is
something?
with you and Kim? What is your obsession with Kim Wexler?
Nothing.
I don't get her. Like, look, she was a good show. She was a good show. She's a good character when she works with the right cast member. Freaking Saul Goodman.
No, I'm talking about everyone's dead. So
No,
the
I
only
get that, but
they
you're
could
not letting me like make my point. The point is Saul Goodman. He brought out the character, the actor. I forgot his name right now, but my man from Nobody. He
Bob
brings
Odenkirk.
out, huh?
Bob
Bob.
Odenkirk.
That's what I thought. I was like, I know his name is Bob. Bob brings out the best in her, even in her freaking acceptance speech for this damn show. She talks about how he brought out the best in her. Without him, what the fuck is she gonna do? Like, I can't see her carrying her own shit.
I don't know.
That's just me. Like, what is she? We're gonna be watching her take pro bono cases or like working in a fucking filing room somewhere, or I don't know. Like,
I don't know. The writers are pretty good. They might come up with something. But I'm just saying is I wonder would they do it because but you know what? I don't know if El Camino did that good as I think a lot of people had problems with it.
No, a lot of people watched it, but a lot of people weren't satisfied with
Yeah,
it, and that's what I'm saying. Like,
do
when
it.
you put El Camino next to Breaking Bad and now Better Call Saul, you see how much of an inferior product it is.
Yeah.
You know, like you really see like it's not horrible and it's not bad, but it's just not as good. It's okay. Miss T chimed in and said, "Laugh out loud." Uh, what we laughing at? I want to laugh. Probably
No,
something
I
I
was going to say was with wouldn't it have been good to see? I don't look. I'm just saying, wouldn't it have been good to see Sol helping the inmates out with legal issues
I
and
was
stuff?
thinking about that. I was thinking like maybe give them legal advice or something.
Someone needs a
RS
kid.
5357. I am not a Kim hater. All right.
Kim
I
hater,
don't, I'm
right?
not a Kim
That's it,
hater. I
right?
just like I don't see where they can take her character. Like I really feel like Bob brought out
No,
the best in her, and I can't see her carrying on alone. Like, am I really about to sit and watch her cry on a bus again? Can you sit? Can you sit through another bus crying scene with her? Because I that
well,
ugly ass
the reason
cry.
I brought up
Can't do it,
about
sir.
her
Do
was
it.
is that she's the only one left
Bless you.
outside.
Bless you.
Bless me, but she's the only one left outside. That's why I was thinking she could be the only one they would do that show for. Because unless they show, you know what, they could do a film of, as I said, Saul in prison and what he's up to, maybe showing
Yep.
him even getting out for doing something great. But I think personally, they should just leave that now. Just leave
Yep.
it.
Yep. They need to do a show about him.
Yep.
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 He needs to get that man a show. Nah, but seriously though, if we're gonna do a show, we gotta do my boy
Yep.
Todd. We got Gus, we got Mike, we got Nacho, we got freaking Lalo. I mean, come on, dude. There's so many freaking excellent characters. You really gonna say out of all those 5 characters I just named, you said we want you said there should be a Kim Wexler show. There needs to be a Kim Wexler show. Come
Hey,
on, man.
hey, buddy. I think they should do a show on the twins on the skateboards.
Oh, the little nerds.
Yeah.
That
What I was going to say was,
why they're getting your legs broke.
I think it should be left now. But do you think we will see another show, or could that be it? You
We're
think?
seeing another show, but I'm gonna tell you this: the people that have creative control over Breaking Bad, they're not whores. Okay, and what I mean by that is they're not gonna sit here and accept anything. Hey, I got this show about this person. All right, whatever is gonna make us money. Let's go. Like there's so many franchises that get pimped out, and I really feel like this company really respects their franchises. They respect their name. They respect the universe that they've created, and
Yeah.
they're not going to pimp their shit out. That's
No,
what I like about this company.
I agree. I think you're right because this show could have been written any old way, even towards the end, because it's already got its fan base now. But they still gave us the best they had, and I don't think they would just, oh, let's just write up any old thing for anything, just make the money and get the views and all that shit. I agree. So I think because of that, could be the same reason we may not get one, because they may go, right, we have nothing here that we actually we have ideas.
They're not going to pounce until the right idea comes across the table,
Yeah.
which is a good thing.
Now,
Hey, does anybody know if Bryan Cranston directed any of the Saul episodes? Any episode in Better Call Saul? Does anybody know that off the top of their head? Because you know that Bryan Cranston directs, right?
I didn't know. I actually think
If I'm not mistaken, he directed a couple of episodes in Breaking Bad.
I'm gonna check now.
And I think he directed a couple of episodes in Malcolm in the Middle. RS537 says, I hope no more shows, as Mike says, you are done. Done. Dude, or Mike is
They have so many good characters that they could go on.
But see, this company respects.
Yeah, he directed an episode in Breaking Bad.
No, I know that. I know he did an episode of Breaking Bad. I know he's directed an episode of Malcolm in the Middle. But I'm wondering if he's directed any Saul episodes. That's what I'm wondering.
It doesn't say. I don't think he did.
But Bryan Cranston directs though.
He will direct this episode of Breaking Bad spin-off Better Call Saul, and pretty much ruled out Return. I don't know enough. I can't get anything concrete. But yeah. Anyway, look, guys. I wanted to say it was great for everyone to be here and with us this 6 long weeks. No, I wouldn't say long weeks. 6 weeks has gone fast. No, Bryan Cranston directed Better Call Saul, but he did direct multiple Breaking Bad episodes.
Breaking Bad episodes, yeah.
But thanks RS5325 or 52. You can
5352.
clearly hear. But as I said, like I thanks for everyone for coming all this time and joining us on this little journey at the end. It's been great.
Before you start doing the little Emmy nomination, like the little you know, the little music where they're telling you to get the fuck off the stage. What are you guys now that Better Call Saul is over? Now that Better Call Saul is over, what are you guys going to watch next? What are you guys planning on watching next now that Better Call Saul is over? I want to hear this because I want to see what people are watching. Maybe we can try to jump on board or something. I ain't promising nothing, but there's a possibility.
Well, this is what me and you have been talking about, and nothing is set in stone yet. But there's a new Star Wars Endor coming out, and we talked about possibly doing that, but it's down to timing and see if we can. Is anyone in there interested in seeing Endor, Star Wars, Disney? Also, we probably 90% chance we're going to be doing the new Chucky season 2 in October. I possibly will be doing The Walking Dead with someone who's interested in it. And if you guys are interested in any of those shows, please jump on board. You haven't seen Game of Thrones, so we can't jump on that. Yeah. Lord of the Rings, The Ring of Power, maybe, you know, but is there anything else coming out that I don't know of?
It's really up on scheduling. I wish that we could have did Blackbird. That would have been cool.
But I know, but it's over completely.
I know that. I know it's over, but I'm just saying.
Like, I didn't know until the last episode that was it. You know, yeah. I thought we were going to get another season of it. But as I said, you know what? When it comes to gritty TV shows, I'm sure there's a few out there, but I don't really know. Now all I can watch is all the YouTube Better Call Saul how to do videos, so I won't have spoilers in the comments.
Oh yeah. She hates spoilers. So like there's there's a video about
me recently.
There's a Lalo video about him making tacos. So there's like all these like crazy little interviews and people talking and doing funny stuff from Better Call Saul. And you know, she was worried about possible spoilers. I'll follow you if you track Star Wars. RS5352 says that.
Well, yeah, we're thinking of we're gonna do Endor coming up in 21st September. I want everyone to say hello to. Oh my god, RoboCop. Hello, doggy. This is my doggy. She is huge.
Look at the way she looks at you. That's love.
Look at the camera. Say hello to everyone. Hello. This is RoboCop.
RoboCop. Why don't you stop waking up Derek in the middle of the night?
I lied. Last night she was terrible. She's trying to chase foxes that she'll never catch. Yeah, but I'm trying. I found her. She was thrown out of a car in front of me on the street, and that was 6 years ago. And I still have her. We don't know how old she is. We don't really know what type of dog she is. All I know is she drives me insane. But as I say,
hey, the vet didn't look at her teeth and gave you like an estimate?
No. It's like, all right, so it's like they don't want to say in case they're wrong and I sue them.
Well, I mean, they can give you an estimate and be like, she's between this and this. Like,
nope, not a thing.
They did that with us.
Because we can't.
My wife saved her dog as well too. She was driving home from work and she saw the dog in the middle of the street and he saw all these cars going down the street ridiculously fast, and she pulled over in the middle of the street, kind of blocked traffic, got the dog, put the dog in the car and took off, you know, and she was worried because the dog looked like she was disoriented and dizzy, that she possibly got hit, and she thought she maybe had a concussion. But yeah, she kept the dog and nursed her back to health, and and she's a little chubby little thing that be popping up in our videos sometimes.
Let's just say they just wouldn't tell me the age, and also I feel like she was about 1 or 2 when I found her, but we don't know. Now the police think she's part pit bull, and another reason why they were going to put her down. But anyway, long story. But I was going to say is yes, RS53. You must have an easier way of saying this. RS5352. Yeah, we were thinking about doing Endor. I would say I'm a Star Wars fan. I mean, I'm not a fanatic like some people, but I've seen them all multiple
I've
times.
watched the movies, but I would not call myself like a
I
Star Wars
I
buff
I
by
would
any
say
means.
but not a fanatic. But as I say, like we have discussed, what was the last one there that was on Obi-Wan? We discussed that we do talk about it, even nothing to do with a TV show or YouTube videos. We discussed it. We chat about things and all that. I wanted to say was so it's a possibility we might jump on that. We have two other friends that sometimes join us, but they're like need a kick in the arse sometimes, and that's D&J Movie Reviews, who we call the Hollywood Twins today. But and I hope they see this. You know they're not. Um,
Obviously, not. They ain't gonna watch this damn video.
no. But as I say, like yeah, so Endor. Now I know Lord of the Rings is coming up, the Rings of Power, as I said, and we've got House of Dragons, Game of Thrones thing, and Chucky, and what else is coming out?
I
Is
don't know,
this?
but I have been cooking up some great discussion topics that hopefully we can start recording when I get a
I have
chance.
one as well. I want to talk to you about. I can talk to you about it now. I have an idea for a discussion. Stephen King versus John Carpenter. I don't mean pick a side and battle to see who it is. Like just a discussion on whose movies are better.
But
Now,
King isn't a director, is
no,
he?
no, but I'm not gonna. We're gonna eliminate the fact that John Carpenter. Just the story, the films in
But
general. We'll come up with some
that
rules.
makes it kind of, but that makes it kind of complicated because there's multiple directors that direct Stephen
We'll
King's
go with
works.
stories then. We'll go with stories or who's the better writer.
We'll
Do you
figure it
know what I
out.
mean?
We'll talk about it off cam
John
to kind of get a
Carpenter is
better
a good
gist of it.
writer.
Miss
He.
T said your dog is awesome.
Thank you, Miss T. Your dog is awesome too. This one here. This one here. This is your dog. This is Miss T, your dog here. All right.
Stupid ass. But
But
anyway, um, so look, hey guys, come on, chime in. Is there anything that you guys are watching or going to watch or anything like that? It could be a TV show, it could be a movie, whatever you want. Just chime in, tell us something that you're interested in, so we can kind of have an idea of what content to make for you guys, so that you guys will see how much we appreciate you. Because you don't understand, we appreciate you guys pulling through every Monday, coming
yeah,
here, hanging out with us, and stuff like
we
that,
do. We
and
really do.
chatting with us. So it's like, what movies are you guys interested in watching? What TV shows are you interested in watching? And let's chat. Let's chat about it.
All gone quiet now.
I know they all
Yeah,
gonna call. Today
Chucky.
honestly was the most quietest it's been in this chat.
Yeah, very quiet. I think everyone's just a bit sad it's all over. For me, I am too. This has been going on for years. We've done this now, me and you, for 6 weeks, and this is the end. This is it for this
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 is
topic.
the end.
And
My beautiful
I'm
friend.
gonna miss
The end.
3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah,
Ooh.
I'm gonna miss that.
Miss T says Chucky.
Chucky, yeah, we'll probably do Chucky at some point. Yeah, when it comes out in October. I don't think fans of the show are going to want to watch our after show. To be honest with you, all right. To be
Oh
honest,
yeah, most
yeah,
likely.
there's a lot of shit we don't like in it. But as I said, we'll see. Season 2's coming. So it looks like you're all disappearing, and you haven't got much. Hope they all die. Miss T,
So
Miss T.
hope they all.
Okay.
That's a
You're talking about Chucky, is she?
Let's talk about Chucky. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys went quiet, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. Again, it was great hanging out with you guys. But if you guys have any videos that you guys want like to recommend, like if you guys want us to review movies that are about to come out, TV shows that are about to come out, you can either drop it in the try to hurry up and get the comment section or the chat before it closes, or you could throw it in the chat down there below. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, make sure you do so right now. I'm very happy that you guys came through every freaking Tuesday and hung out with us and chatted with us and made it all worth it. You guys made these Tuesdays worth it, man. Like really coming through and doing it, because like we wouldn't, it wouldn't have been the same without you guys.
No, definitely not. Now, if you haven't jumped on mine, Movie Mash, please do. I've just reviewed Orphan and Beast. If you're interested,
Orphan First Kill, make it clear.
I am about today. I will be and giving you the nobody knows this exclusive. I'll be doing a review called Fall. There's a new film coming out called Fall. If anyone's heard of it,
I think it's already
I'm,
out.
I'm going to see it today, and I'm going to review it later on. Nope is a possibility. I'm going to see that today, but I'm a bit pissed off about it. As you know, it's been 4 weeks now since it came out. It came out 3 weeks later, and I didn't have a chance. I'm pissed. So pissed off, I don't want to review it.
Oh, you mean nope?
Nope. I'm pissed off
I
about
say
that.
do it. I say do it. The algorithm for that is still pretty decent. RS5352 says I don't have any other shows I really care about yet. What about
Yeah,
movies? What about movies? Any movies that you're looking forward to?
we've got
Um,
Halloween Ends coming out. What else is coming? I don't know. Oh,
I've
Black Adam's coming.
I'm probably going to see the Dragon Ball Z movie this Thursday. If any anime fans are out there, I'm probably going to see that this Thursday. This Saturday, I'm going to try to do homework for school. So yeah, so there's that. Yippee, homework.
Well, look, everyone. Again, I think it's time to end the show. Thanks for everyone for watching. You've been absolutely fantastic, and all the little extras you've thrown in and let us know that we didn't know. You kept us on our toes, and I love you all. Please jump on both our channels. We want to stay in contact with you guys because I feel like we've kind of become friends, and we're a little family now. So yes, please join us for the next one. Just to say hello. Just jump in and say hello anytime in the
Misty
comments.
says any horror movies you'll be reviewing anytime soon. All right, so there's two things. One, most likely Orphan First Kill. Whenever Hellraiser drops, I'm reviewing that. Terrifier 2, whenever that drops, I'm doing that. Jeepers Creepers Reborn, whenever I'm doing that. But I will actually go through in full effect for my month of madness, which is in the month of October. I will be reviewing a horror movie every single day for the month of October. I'll be having guests like Del Boy. I'll try to ask my boy Q Reviews. I might have the Hollywood twins, and we'll try to make it happen. We might even try to do a big group discussion for some of them, and then some videos I'm going to be solo as well. So there's that.
Do you know they would fucking go mental if they knew we were calling them Hollywood twins, right?
They'll be all right. And then we got somebody new in the building. Who's this? Bruno, you got this. Oh man, you came late, buddy. What's going on, buddy? How you doing? How you doing, my friend? Let's see. Miss T dropped a heart for us. No, wait, sorry, that's RS5255352. He dropped the heart for us. Oh, snap.
Dell joined.
Dell, he left us. He abandoned us. All right, now it's my show. All right, he left. Now I can finally tell him everything I've always been thinking about him. He's a terrible person. He's horrible. But Bruno says, you got this, but we're gonna go ahead and end the stream. I don't know where the heck Derek went to. This man then disappeared into the nether realm. I think I think he's put on the ring from Lord of the Rings and he's disappeared. So if you have not done so already, please make sure that you guys subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you guys follow me at Cinema Chop Shop. Make sure you guys follow Del Boy at Movie Mash Reviews. He's trying to fix this, but I have no clue what the hell's going on. He just put on the invisible ring. He's done. He's out of here. So I will see you guys next time. Make sure you subscribe to both channels. Remember, let us know if there's any TV shows that you want us to watch. Let us know if there's any movies that you want us to review, because you guys have earned a special place in our hearts, and we'll make sure that we review things for you guys. So that's the end of it. We will see you guys next time. Adios from me and Del Boy, who's obviously not here.